Well, so consumer sleep technology is a broad field. It covers a big landscape from sleep tracking device to sleep augmentation technology. From this sleep tracking, we know that there are upcoming new devices. You have a smartphone, but also classical wearable device, smart band, ring, but also embed sensor. And then we see the boundary that is pushed further and further in terms of tracking technology, like EEG system, dry EEG system, headband, and so on. Even non-contact sensors that use radar and sonar technology to measure sleep and several other sleep parameters. For the sleep augmentation side, also we see a novel introduction of devices that is able to tackle specific physiological processes like neurostimulator devices. We also have an upgrade of the classical white noise machine or aromatherapy. We see the robotic enter in the sleep field. I saw recently a pillow that you can hug with a mechanical breathing and accompany you to sleep by slowing down your breathing. You're supposed to hug the pillow and then synchronize your breathing with the breathing of the pillow. And then we have several other gadgets based on the brainwave entrainment. So the space is really broad. We are interested in sleep tracking device because mainly they offer parameters that we are used to see in our field. We are able to measure sleep and sleep aspect on a population level. So large data acquisition, time series data over a prolonged period. And now we have the opportunity to go from few hundred of people in the lab and few couple of nights to million of people, a million of nights, a billion of data. And also this technology, especially the multisensor wearable sleep tracker, open the possibility really to advance the understanding of sleep and how sleep is related to several biopsychosocial factors. Think about that now you have app interface, you can have digital survey paired with passive collection of this multidimensionality of data. They are able to measure sleep, but also beyond sleep, they are able to measure sleep physiology. We know that with the photopletismo they now able to measure heart rate, but also heart rate variability, and they expand more and more the feature set of the type of parameter that they can measure, including now oxygen saturation, and so look at the desaturation across the night and potentially classify apnea event. Also they can expand even further, and now we will see an upcoming probably use of technology in glucose monitoring, blood pressure monitoring, alcohol sensor, so you can really have the curve of alcohol consumption and really have a high granularity data. Well, there are big limitations of consumer sleep tracking technology, and some of the limitations are still unknown. So you need to conceptualize that there are consumer devices, and the algorithm that they use for measuring sleep and the other physiological parameters are still unknown. So they don't disclose usually wearable industry what and how they measure what they measure, and that is a limitation. Also, another limitation is that is a proxy of sleep, is not exactly a translation of sleep. They basically use multisensor technology, accelerometry, and at least photoplethysmography and feature derived from photoplethysmography to guess in which sleep stage you are, to classify the sleep stage. But they model this data according to polysonographic data. But in the field, in free living condition, there are so many factors that can modify and affect peripheral physiology and specific heart rate variability that automatically translate in different level of accuracy of this device to measure sleep. An example would be drinking alcohol. If you get a couple of glasses one night, the device might have a different accuracy whether or not when, if for an example, you have a night in which you don't drink, if you get caffeine, if you do physical activity, any kind of factor that modify the feature set that this device used to classify sleep might change the accuracy of this device. So today you might have 5% misalignment, but the day after 10%, 15%, 50%, you don't know. And that is unpredictable. There is so many factors that now modulate the way that they classify sleep, and that is a problem. Other problem, they are commercial devices, so on the long run they are following different rule. They follow the market rule, so they push new devices every time, new device model. The use case is changing, so they follow use case and they use and rule for engagement, engaging the people, not accuracy in the way that they measure parameter. And then they don't guarantee that a device is still produce the same amount of data every time. They might abandon some feature, they might introduce new feature without even noticing. So it's really a challenge for us to use on a longitudinal way these devices.